Welcome to this T-34-85 replay on mines. We have the pleasure of watching ermeneghildo from Pony, my dear work colleague again. He sent me this replay. He had a really nice match in this tank. The T-34-85M being the sort of mini marathon tank we managed to pretty much all pick up last month. The same tank that's at the moment completely breaking tier 6 matchmaking because everyone's playing it and it's actually quite overpowered. But ermeneghildo actually managed to do really well in this match, and not just because of the overpowered nature of this tank, but he actually managed to get a really nice result. But yeah, basically, let's just start off with the reason why Wargaming put this tank on a marathon and why so close after we got the tier 6 marathon for the Chinese Tiger tank now. The reason why these marathons are coming up, which you should know, is that there is a massive problem with the Matchmaker at the moment. There's huge complaints of tier 8 tanks being completely screwed over by the new Matchmaker and pretty much only being chucked as cannon fodder in tier 10 battles. Because most tanks, obviously, with the new matchmaking pattern, with the 3 top tiers, 5 mid tiers, 7 lower tiers or something, everyone plays tier 10 because you're always top tier. And you're always either a full tier 10 match or one of 3 tier 10 match tanks in a very lower tier match. So the problem is, for every tier 10 tank that plays, or every couple of tier 10 tanks that play, there is a massive amount of tier 8 tanks needed to fill these battles. Basically just acting as cannon fodder, but because realistically in most tier 8 tanks, what are you going to do against tier 10 tanks? They will completely wreck you. So Wargaming's solution for that, as usual, is not an actual solution to the problem, changing the matchmaker. Nope. They decided to put tier 6 tanks on a marathon, so everyone would basically get new tier 6 tanks that they wanted to play. And this way they're trying to force more matches where tier 8 tanks are top tier, because obviously if there's many more tier 6 tanks playing, that means that the matchmaker has a much easier task of creating matches for tier 8 tanks where they're top tier, because there's normally there's hardly or there's far less tier 6, 5, 7 tanks playing, but now it's actually a lot of them playing. So this again is one of Wargaming's crude solutions to a problem they created themselves, and it's not really a solution, it's just a band-aid on the problem. What they should actually do is give tier 10 tanks far more just tier 10 matches. For tier 10 tanks, there should be a special rule in the matchmaker that actually tries to mostly create tier 10 only matches and basically relieve the pressure off of the lower tier tanks. This in turn will of course mean that tier 9 tanks will have a much greater chance of being top tier, so as well tier 9 tanks should not be treated equally to all other tanks. Tier 9 tanks should have a higher chance of being only in tier 9 matches, but not as much as the tier 10 tanks have of being in tier 10 only matches. That way, with a stepped system, basically it will ensure that tier 8 tanks will get better matchmaking as well, because the problem is basically just lessened. Because this is not a solution to the problem, just artificially influxing the battlefield with more tier 6 and tier 7 tanks is not a solution to this whole matchmaker problem. At least not a long-term solution, because at some point people are going to get sick of these tier 6 tanks, because while they're fun, it's not fun to only play these tanks, so at some point they're going to get sick of it, and then we will be back at the original problem where tier 8 tanks again are completely screwed over. It's just dumb, but yeah, if anything can classify Wargaming's way of handling this game, it is dumb, especially the last couple of years. Either they're completely cynical and deliberately breaking their own game for short-term financial gain, or they're completely incompetent, which I don't actually believe. So what we're left with is a company that deliberately fucks over their own game for short-term profit instead of making a long-term good system. But yeah, anyway, we all got this tank for free, and as ermeneghildo is displaying, it is a really nice tank. It's got a really good DPM. It's got quite effective armor actually. It's got more armor than the regular one. So. And the gun handling is pretty nice as well, so you can do some really good work with this tank. Recently the Poodle came out, I bought it as well, and the Poodle has nothing on this tank. This tank is just so much better than the Poodle. Problem is that the Poodle, for instance, has got pretty much the same gun handling as this tank, but for far less damage. This one has 180 average damage, the Poodle has 135 average damage, and the gun handling is pretty much the same. The Poodle is terrible for snapshotting. I might actually post one of my Ace Tanker replays soon. I haven't decided if I want to use that replay for a review video or if I just want to use it as a battle replay to show you guys how the tank is. So yeah, I'll get back on that. But yeah, T-34-85, I managed to pick it up myself. It's a really nice tank. I'm not playing it much though. Just because, yeah, tier 6 is currently terrible. It is making life nicer for tier 8 tanks, but it's not a long-term solution, and that is a problem. It's just a band-aid, a crutch to basically force the issue to improve. But yeah, at least tier 8 is a little bit more enjoyable now, but still, with the new matchmaking as well, platoons get punished, because that's also a nice system that Wargaming implemented. If you platoon in, as soon as you platoon, if you play solo, you get quite okay matches. You get to be top tier occasionally, you get to be mid tier more often, but as soon as you start platooning, it's pretty much only bottom tier, which is really annoying because it's basically punishing you for playing with friends. But yeah, this match was finished off, as you can see. My rambling went on far longer than the video actually lasted, but yeah, let's take a look at the post-game results. So here we go, Ace Tanker by ermeneghildo on mines. He also managed to get an Oskins medal for destroying enemy tank destroyers, 3 of them. I think that must be a 1 tier higher though. And high caliber, obviously. He did quite a lot of damage, 3,618 damage, which is far more than any of his other teammates managed to do. Got 1,641 base XP, really impressive, really nice hard carry as he said. And because he didn't fire premium ammo or not much, I don't think he fired any, I wasn't actually paying attention. He managed to make 55k profit, which is really solid, really good. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy this replay. I certainly did, and if you did, feel free to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time.